Drivers Mate podcast, thank you for watching again. We're back with another episode. Please like, subscribe and share if you can. Make a comment because it helps with the algorithm and it helps unscripted YouTube channels with real people not be suppressed by the algorithm and be completely just drowned by all of the scripted, repeated, like mundane content that's out there on the big channels, with all due respect. But anyway, today I'm going to do a reaction video, and like I usually do in my reaction videos, I pick a YouTube short at random and I listen to it. You get my initial reaction, then I give you an opinion afterwards, right? So let's go. First one off the bat.
Hey brother. I'm good. If you can answer one question for me, I'll give you $500.
Well, I could really use it. I'm on the streets, so you know what the question is.
What's your biggest regret in life?
That's Dre.
I said cheating on my girl. I got cheating on her to go 17, so that's my biggest regret right there.
I said he cheated on his girl.
We talk about buying a house, we talk about buying a car, just living a life together, and now look at me. I'm lucky. This is awesome. If you gotta be good, just love her and cherish her. Don't be like me.
As promised.
Wow.
Okay, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Okay, alright, if you can probably barely hear what the guy was saying. So basically, this is one of those YouTubers or content creators that go up to homeless people and make content of the homeless people's life, right? So the premise of what that guy just did there, one second, drink water. Water's good for you. He went up to the homeless guy in the hopes to make content, basically. He had a camera rolling and a guy out front on the camera. He went up to the homeless guy and he said, I'll give you £500 if you can answer a question for me, right? Which is exploitive, right? And I've got an opinion about those kinds of people too. You lot, in my opinion, are wrongers, right? If you're going to do charity, no one can see it. Like Jay-Z says, the purest form of giving is anonymous to anonymous, right? Not to big up your chest, not to get content out of it, not to get likes and congratulations, right? Do charity from your heart, and don't be a person that does charity to expect like good karma from God or whatever, right? Those people, I'm looking at you too with the side eye, bombastic side eye, right? Anyway, so this guy is gone up to a homeless man to create content based on the homeless man's situation, which is a punk move, right? Real, right? Anyway, he asked the homeless man, what's your biggest regret in life? And this dickhead, yeah, in my opinion, he's a proper dickhead for answering this, but maybe he had his own reasons, right? He said his biggest regret was cheating on his girl and his girlfriend, right? So like this guy's looking right now like a mashed down brother, yeah. And he said his biggest regret is cheating on his girlfriend. Then he started saying, I was talking about having a car and a house and a family and all of this, right? In my opinion, the little glance that I got of him, I can only make a snap decision or opinion about who he might be, right? He looks like a drug addict or an alcoholic, and he's just on the block. Like, he's not one of those homeless people that are trying, he don't look like anybody that is homeless due to circumstances out of their control and he's just trying to come back up, right? He doesn't look like that from my small glance. But anyway, with that in mind, right, should he have answered my biggest regret is cheating on my girlfriend? No, really, because that's it's like a real self-pity, sympathy, shifting the blame from his self, whatever he did to cause his homelessness, to his ex-girlfriend, right? That's a real pussy old thing to do, right? As a man, in my opinion, right? Everyone's got ex-girlfriends, right? Some of them are good, some of them are bad, depending on your situation. It all depends on your experiences, right? But that aside, can he really say, well, he didn't say he's homeless because of his ex-girlfriend, right? So I can't really put that on him, right? He didn't say that. He said his biggest regret was his ex-girlfriend, right? Fine, right? For some people, that is understandable, right? If that is your biggest regret, who am I to tell you that's not your biggest regret, right? But I'm looking at you with a bombastic side eye as well, right? Because no, Do you know what I'm saying? If it really is that much of a regret, why don't you try to do something about it, right? Why don't you try to rekindle the relationship? If not, at least apologize and make friends if you can, right? If that is really your biggest regret, you should do something about it, right? Because I'm a man who personally believes everything that happens for a reason, right? The good and the bad, we must not regret anything, right? We must let go of regrets. Like Jay-Z said again, right? In order to survive, never forget you have to live with regrets, right? I forgot the whole thing, right? In order to survive, gotta learn to live with regrets, right? Basically, that's the crux of that song, okay? Although he says that that's an opinion of regrets and regrettable actions, right? But personally, from a stoic point of view, regret nothing, right? Wish things to happen as they do, not as how you would wish them to happen, right? So, with my opinion on regrets is there's no need to have regrets, right? What's done is done, and once it's done, it's out of your control. And another perspective from a stoic would be, if it's not in my control, why worry about it, right? I release this problem, or I release this thing for myself, which I have no direct control over, okay? So, the scenario, right? Like we've seen on Twitter and on social media, yeah? There's a lot of people that are like, this brother is one argument away from being homeless, right? A lot of you, man, that's you right now, yeah? You're living off your girl, you need to fix up, right? In my opinion, maybe that is your life choice. You do what you want to do, right? But in my personal opinion, a man should have a solid foundation no matter where he is and what point he is in time, and always be willing to put his stick on his shoulder with his back like the old cartoons and walk on, right? Trod on, right? And if you do get in, it's an opinion, right? It's just a perspective, right? From a financial point of view, if you are already set up your life as a man before you meet a girlfriend, right? Because a lot of men and women are really dependent, right? They are dependent on other people, so they go from relationship to relationship to relationship, never really sorting their own shit out, right? Never really fixing their own baggage and taking responsibility and building up their self as an individual, right? They always leaning on somebody else. So the chances are he was a man that was leaning on someone else all the time in his life, right? That's why he's homeless. Now, the economic difference in America is much different. Housing isn't free, healthcare isn't free, right? So all of that shit is on you, right? So a given, apply to that guy. We don't know your circumstances. But if you are homeless because you've broken up with your girlfriend, you're a dickhead, yeah? Straight up and down, yeah? You should have had your own flat, you should have had your own yard, a place where you can fall back to, even if you... So, from a financial perspective, right? So you're living your life, you as a single man, a bachelor, right? You have a flat or you have a yard, right? It might be a council house, it might not be, right? It might be privately rented. Whatever you have going on there, right? Once you meet the woman and decide, right, we're going to get together, there's two ways you can go about this. You can either move in with her, right? Which is not advisable because she could be like, it's my space, fuck off, right? Or get out, call the police on you just over a petty argument and you're gone, right? So the wise thing to do would be either move her in with you where you live, or if you move in with the girl, keep your place, your flat or whatever housing situation you have running, right? I know it costs extra money, but it's worth it, right? So you always have a place to go back to, even if you have to sublet it or rent it out to someone else while you're staying with your girl. Do that, right? Because you have an income, or you have your stuff taken care of and maintained. So you have an insurance policy to fall back on if things go wrong in a relationship, right? As a wise man would do. Now, if your relationship continues to be successful, right, and you and this woman are actually working together as a solid unit, the dope thing you can both do then is pool your resources and buy that spare property you've got put to the side, right? Fix that up, sell that, rent that, do whatever you want to do, and you've got a dual income going into it for the mortgage, and you've got a nice dual income coming out of it, right? So that's just another way to set yourself up financially and mentally, right? So if anything does happen and you need your spaces, respectively, you have your places to return to without there being any chaos or homelessness, right? So yes, that is a factor which might have contributed to this man being homeless now, right? Which is, hey, what can I say? It's hard, right? And me and you, as much as we work hard, as much as we save, as much as we plan and strategize, it can happen to any of us, right? So don't look down on a homeless man ever, right? Because a homeless man will go from right at the bottom to right at the top, just like that. Because we live in a capitalist society. You never know what could happen, right? So my advice to you, if you're homeless right now, stay alive. Just live to another day. That's all you got to do. Just stay alive to the next day, right? Things will change, things will get better. But it starts with you, yeah? So remember that. It starts with you. Keep positive. Build yourself up. Even though you're homeless, do what you have to do. I'm not telling you what you should do, but a man such as myself, if I should ever hit rock bottom, I have certain things I know I can turn to, that even if I got to go on the dark side of society, I will, because I will survive, right? You may not think like that, but that's your business, yeah? That aside, the relationship of it, I can't see a man really being that. Well, yeah, people do get torn up and heartbroken over relationships, and it goes on for years and years and years and years, right? And it can potentially be a domino effect that ruins some people's lives, right? But as I keep saying this, right, and I'm leaning on gender roles and hyper-masculinity and all of that kind of stuff, a man should never put himself in that situation where he cannot recover. He cannot, even if he decides to never have another relationship again, right? And just go out of life as a nomad, a loner, right? Even if that is what he decides, he should decide it from his own inner strength, his own mind, yeah? How he decides to move through life should be his decision, yeah? So no woman should have that power to break you down to the point where you can never recover. Yes, you're going to have hard times. Yes, you're going to struggle mentally, maybe even financially, but you must recover, right? You must regain your strength, and ye must be reborn, okay? Yeah, so that is a hard thing to deal with. Heartbreak and regret is hard, so I'm not going to diss him, but I am looking at him a bit of a pussy, right? To be honest, right? I understand the potential mental space or lack of clarity he might have at this moment in time. That's why he just said that, or maybe that's something he was thinking about during the day. So he said, hey, my biggest regret is boom, boom, boom. Or, right, now check this shit out, right? Maybe that whole video was a scripted piece of content, because you know how these YouTubers like to do. You think you're watching something that's just genuine and it actually approaches someone in the street. Nah, it's all scripted. The homeless man's in on it, the cameraman's in on it, the background people are branded advertisers. It could be that, right? They could just be, that channel could just have a narrative that concerns itself with male, female relationships, red pill stuff, blue pill stuff, black pill stuff, maybe even, right? Reality check business. Look at my nice shade in the shadow. That looks kind of cool, isn't it? A little bit of silhouette. Let the sun shine in on you, right? Let the sun shine in on you and your life, right? Anyway, yeah, I'm babbling anyways. But yes, that content could have been scripted, and the man, as the homeless man, could be on it too, and they all had a little bit of an agenda, right? To make you feel a certain way about certain things. None of my business either way, I'm just reacting to it. So the takeaways I would say from this: fuck regret, right? Excuse my language. Don't ever live with regret. What's happened is happened now. It's done and it's out of your control. Move past it, right? If you can, move past it. Number two, never put yourself in a financial situation where you cannot recover, right? If you lose everything today, have a backup plan, or at least have a strategy of how you would reapproach building yourself back up. What are you going to do? What are the steps you're going to move, right? Do you know where to go if you become homeless, and do you know which resources you can tap in wherever you live, right? Make sure you know, because it can happen to anybody, right? Nobody is safe. And the last thing I would say is, in relationships, choose your partners wisely, right? Vet them, men and women both. Vet your partners first, right? And before you go jump the gun and move in with each other, or get engaged and then break it off, really spend time with this person and get to know them. Are they really who you think they are, right? Are they going to betray you? Are they going to do dirty, bad mind stuff to you, right? They're saying one thing to you, but their actions are something else, right? People are human beings. They all have their reasons for doing the weird shit they do, right? So take that in consideration when getting into relationships, lads and ladettes, okay? Let me know what you think in the comments. Should he be regretting his ex-girlfriend if he's homeless? Should that be at the top of his priority list of regrets, right? You let me know what you think, right? And am I being a bit harsh and a bit, you know, cold-hearted to him? Or am I just keeping it real and based? Reality, black pill talk. He shouldn't be that way. He shouldn't think that way, right? Let me know what you think in the comments. Drivers Mate Podcast. Thank you for watching. Check me out on Instagram, TikTok, Patreon. You can request a video now if you would like me to speak about a specific topic or react to a certain video or anything, right? You can ask me. I will consider it, and if it's a bit too much, then probably no, right? Because I have a certain level of integrity to my stuff, right? And a certain level of realism that you see. So it all depends on what you ask for. That I will consider, okay? I will consider and possibly oblige, right? So thank you for watching again, Drivers Mate Podcast. Please check out the links in the description if I've got any at this point, right? Because I'm a newbie here, but you never know. This is legacy content. You may be watching this years in the future, long when I'm gone, right? So just check me out, Drivers Mate Podcast, and CNC CMI on all different platforms, right? Clark & Co. Creative Media Innovators. It might change by the time you see this, it might not, right? It's been there for 10 years already, so I doubt it will. Thank you for your time, and peace!